there, I'm Ashwini Vedakan. Joining us on this week's episode is former Sri Lankan cricketer and international cricket commentator Russel Arnold. Welcome to the show, Russel. It's so good to have you here with us.
Hi, how are you?
Alright, Russel, well, before we start with our burning questions, we have a little game planned for you called One Word Wonders, where you need to name the following cricketers in one word. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. Brian Lara.
Genius.
Rahul Dravid.
Wall.
Aravinda De Silva.
Oh, talented.
Son of Jayasuriya.
Instinctive.
Ricky Ponting.
Classy, I would say.
Brett Lee.
Or fast.
T.M. Dilshan.
Mischievous.
Kumar Sangakkara.
Goat.
Nice. Saurabh Ganguly.
Competitor.
Shane Warne.
Magician.
Arjuna Ranatunga.
Hard.
Chaminda Vas.
Vasi. Skillful.
Okay, and finally, Chris Gale.
Power.
Well, with our little icebreaker out of the way, are you ready for our burning questions?
Yep. Cool. Bring it on. See how we go.
Here they come.
Oh, yeah, we got some funny characters, but sometimes everyone's not happy to laugh at themselves. I think that's a crucial point in having some fun. In the guests I've had, I guess Murli came on Monday and he rattled on. He didn't realize he was online, so it was a bit of banter which happens in the dressing room or maybe in private. So that session made me laugh the most, I would say. Wasim Akram, he was tough, very tough to pick up. He was very skillful and very unpredictable too. Short run up, quick arm speed, he was very difficult to judge. He was the threat. Well, I'll go with Mahela Jayawardena. He was tactically good and very, very good in managing the players as well. So to me, when you look at the all-round capabilities, there were others who had strengths in different areas, but I think Mahela Jayawardena sits on top. Oh, you can't call me a prankster, come on. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Tilina Tushar, or Amba as we call him, he's cheeky, he kept us going, he gave us lots of laughs and was fun to have around. Well, tricky moments, we had quite a few, but when the guys took me on a ride, at that moment it wasn't funny, but later on it ended up being very funny and everyone still takes the mickey out of me. That was when I was ready to go to bat and suddenly they said Menda Palayang, and that was Ajantha Mendis being promoted on top of me. I thought that was harsh at that stage, but when we started, when we got through that and the banter in the dressing room came in, it had a lot of value. No, I got to think about that because I don't listen to myself as much. Well, a phrase that I tend to like is 8 days of the week. That is a line that I'd like to use to, make it clear that consistency or this should happen all the time, that type of meaning. And I tend to use that quite a lot, I think. Not in a great place, but improving. We are hoping that it takes a turn. So it's going to be exciting times. Finding those new heroes, finding a new game plan, and the ups and downs. That's what we all tend to enjoy, but we'd like to be on the upside for longer. Yeah, so it is a little sad, and we haven't had a lot of joy in our cricket since of late. So we are all battling. When I say we all, especially the cricketers and the administrators, in getting us somewhere. So hopefully that change comes in very, very quickly. At this particular moment, it's lockdown. So it's family time, which is quality time at the end of the day. But in terms of excitement and restrictions all around, It's pretty quiet at this stage. But otherwise, it wasn't lockdown. It's my favorite time of the year because a lot of rugby happens. That's my hobby, and Sydney is the centre for rugby. So every weekend there are games to watch, and the weather is pretty cool at the moment, which is another thing that I enjoy. So yeah, it's pretty chill otherwise. Yeah, I do miss Sri Lanka and certain positives about it. There are a lot of things: the food, the friends, and there's no place like home, as you would say. But as life goes on, right now, to be honest, how you feel is home is where your children are, and at the moment they are in Sydney. So missing them and home is what you would say it is. But in general, I'm a bit of a traveler. I'm very pretty easy and tend to settle in anywhere. Anything goes. Not very fussy about the food either. Yeah, it's a lot easier for me than others, I would say, being on the road. Well, it's hard to say that there's a particular person who bugs me, but I do hate small talk. That really does bug you when you find people pretentious, and they just like to make small talk with agendas in mind. And when you feel that's not the real reason for the conversation, that really gets to you. Well, at this stage, one in the Hasaranga. Yeah, but yeah, one in the Hasaranga in the white ball format. I think he can go real far. He's very young. And the biggest trait that I like in him is he's a street fighter. He's a competitor. So he doesn't go away. And that's something that will take him very, very far. But you brought in Kumar Sangakkara. That's why I paused for a bit, thinking on all three formats. I'm not very sure that Hasaranga will be a big star in the red ball, the type of cricket that he plays. But on top, you're looking for a star, that's your man, Hasaranga for us. Well, it's a difficult one to answer because a lot of times what we see from outside is not what exactly happens inside. Now, in our time, we can say that things worked well. We had some very, very good players, and we had a team, meaning we had a team of core players who were together for a long time. Now, all that helps. All that helps in people understanding each other, understanding each other's games, when another person steps up, what to do, and that makes you a better oiled unit. So that came out in the 90s and the early 2000s. Now, Sri Lanka at the moment are struggling in terms of getting the real personnel out there. There are changes all the time. So there's insecurity in terms of your place. And the guys have not been able to really perform. At the moment, we wouldn't name many stars. So the results also play a part in how things come out and how things are looked at. So if the team somehow gets a few wins together, you'll realize that maybe 50 to 70% of the problems that you see don't exist. But sometimes the problems do exist, but they've tapered over because things are going well and people are happier. It's a happier environment. So these type of things tend to play a role. And it's not necessarily that a team plays well and you see the happiness and the joy together. There are differences as well, but you go out there for the common cause and you go out there and do your job. It was easier to focus at that time. So a lot of the younger players now, they are under tremendous pressure because everyone's looking for performances which the exceptional players, legends like the Sangakkara, Jayawardene, Muralidharans gave you. So how you assess, how you look at things can also change, not necessarily what exactly is happening in that environment. So that's why I said it's a very, very difficult question to answer. And there are also many more distractions now. Social media causes lots of problems. So you're always under scrutiny, whether you walk, turn left, turn right. There's nothing to say that the guys didn't have a good time, go out or have some fun. But it was not in your face like it is now. So these type of issues do tend to add a lot more pressure on everyone. I'm not really sure whether I've answered your question, but I'm giving you different scenarios from where we will see things, but it's not exactly what's happening. There could be many more friends out there, but a lot comes down to the performances and how you feel. That helps, or that gives you the direction in seeing the team spirit or whatever it may be. You could have 11 players at each other's throats, but if they're winning, you won't be seeing any problems at all. That's the difference. Hidden talents. No, there are many. I'm not a cook. I'm a pretty laid back guy, and being calm and chilling is what it actually describes my lifestyle as well. And my talent might be, I would like to say that it tends to rub off on others around me, or people who are down at certain stages, and my hidden talent might be just imparting a bit of chilling to the others to try and make them feel better. And I'm very happy and it makes me happy to see that I'm making a difference to other people, or putting a smile on their faces.
Alright, Russel, we have one tiny thing we'd like to ask before we end the show. Would you by any chance be willing to do an impromptu commentating segment for us over a match that you designed?
Now you've put me under pressure. This is pretty hard. In fact, it may be something that I do over time, but to get it at the top of my head, picture a game. I'll go this way. So you're telling me to commentate at a game? Yeah. Right. So I'll start at the top of the game and try and give you a minute, and hopefully it flows through. Good afternoon, everyone. We are at the R. Premadasa Stadium. And welcome to the third ODI between Sri Lanka and India. The toss has just happened, and we had Roshana Basing carrying out the proceedings. Sri Lanka have won the toss, and they have elected to bat on a dry wicket. Later on in the day, there could be a little bit of dew, which might cause a few problems for the bowlers, but the conditions are good for batting right now, and hopefully Sri Lanka apply themselves and get a decent score so that the bowlers do have a cushion later. Introducing the teams, Sri Lanka opening the batting today for them is Sanath Jayasuriya with Tilakaratne Dilshan. They are the two opening batsmen. Batting at number 3 is Kumar Sangakkara, and at 4 is Mahela Jayawardene. So that's a strong top order. In the middle order, you have Tilakaratne Dilshan, Thisara Pereira. Then at number 7, we're bringing in Wanindu Hasaranga, so that's an all-rounder, and he bowls his leg spin later on. Chaminda Vas at 8, there's Muthaiya Muralidharan. He might float around depending on whether he needs to use the long handle. And there's Dilhara Fernando and Lasith Malinga. That's Sri Lanka's 11, and I think that's 60 seconds up.
That's a whole heap of OG players.
Well, yeah, we picked the strongest we have.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show with us. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Cheers.
And that's all we have for you this week. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to catch the latest episode of Living Guest Real. Thank you for watching and stay safe.